In the previous video, I introduced the concept of energy efficiency improvement and how it can be achieved. In this video, we will dive deeper into the role that energy efficiency can play in climate mitigation strategies. As we already discussed, energy efficiency improvements have always been with us. There has always been an economic incentive to improve processes and products and make them more efficient. Typically, over longer periods of time and across multiple sectors, an autonomous rate of energy efficiency improvement of about 1% per year can be observed. This should be interpreted as a reduction of the specific energy consumption of 1% per year. Of course, this number may vary substantially from year to year and from sector to sector, but in the long run and across many sectors, 1% per year is a typical autonomous rate of energy efficiency improvement. In this picture, we get an indication of the energy efficiency improvement rates observed for the world as a whole in the past decade. In recent years, we see that the rate is already slightly higher than the historic average of 1% per year. However, it is still much less than what is required according to calculations by the International Energy Agency. These estimates suggest energy efficiency improvement should be over 3% per year. So we have a big challenge still ahead of us. Investments in energy efficiency are already very substantial. The IEA estimates total investment is roughly $240 billion per year, which is comparable to the investments in renewable energy, mainly solar and wind energy. In this picture, we see how this investment is broken down. We see that there are very substantial investments in the building sector, especially to improve the building envelope through insulation, for example. We also see smaller investments in industry and also in the transport sector. The total size and diversity of investments is already very impressive. It is important to recognize that energy efficiency improvement is not only important to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but that it also has a lot of additional benefits. There are the obvious associated cost savings, but it can also help us to improve the security of energy supply. Energy efficiency improvement helps to reduce energy prices because lower demand means lower prices. This can also have a very positive macroeconomic impact. It can reduce local air pollution and hence improve health and well-being, and it can also lead to local employment and local economic activity. In summary then, there are multiple benefits of energy efficiency. While energy efficiency is widely recognized as being very important, there is of course an important remaining question, and that is how we actually realize it. There are a lot of policies, but I want to focus on a few ones in this presentation. Firstly, it is good to distinguish between new products and new situations versus existing products and existing situations. For new products, two dominant policies are labels and standards. Many governments have implemented these across the globe. Labels and standards are two different things, but they are closely connected. A label system means that every appliance or home or car or whatever it is characterized and its relative energy performance is displayed. Remember, a better energy performance means lower specific energy consumption. Here you see a typical example of a labeling system, where a G label means very high specific energy consumption and an A label means very low specific energy consumption. Of course, such labeling is already useful because it informs people and companies and helps them to make more efficient choices. But what is particularly powerful is the combination of these systems with energy efficiency standards. Energy efficiency standards mean that certain appliances with low efficiency are not allowed on the market. This, of course, is a very strong incentive for manufacturers of products to improve their equipment. As I said, labels and standards are widely in place. They exist for household appliances, lighting, electric motors, for new buildings, but also for cars and trucks. In the latter case, it's often not an obligation for individual cars or trucks, but for the whole package of cars or trucks that a company produces. This picture nicely illustrates how the specific energy consumption of cars has decreased over time. It is depicted here in megajoules per vehicle kilometer. These lines represent the standards that are set by countries which have become stricter over time and are set to become more strict in the future. The latter is important. Energy efficiency standards only work if they are made ever more ambitious over time. The difficult part of the energy efficiency improvement is with existing buildings and existing industry. It is much easier to set standards for new products than to do something with the existing stock. We see that many policies have been implemented, including labeling and benchmarking, but also subsidy schemes, voluntary agreements, carbon taxes, energy efficiency obligations, and networks for cooperation on energy efficiency. These methods all have their role, but if there is one area where energy efficiency improvement policies have been less successful, then it's in this area. But the good news is that there are quite some possibilities to do better. So let me summarize this mixed picture by showing you opposing views. Someone with a more pessimistic view on energy efficiency might say, okay, it's all nice, but there remain a lot of market barriers that inhibit adoption of new technologies. It may seem cheap, but there may be a lot of transaction costs and other hidden costs that make these options much less attractive in reality. We know that economic policies are not very effective. Higher energy prices only have a modest impact on limiting energy consumption. Someone with a more optimistic viewpoint might say that there is a massive technological resource for energy efficiency improvement, so we cannot afford to neglect it. He or she may also point to the short payback times and the fact that the monetary benefits are often much larger than the costs. And we should not focus on economic policies, but rather on norms and standards. So to summarize this video, energy efficiency has multiple benefits and is very attractive, but it's also a big challenge to really get it accelerated.